These tendencies need to be resisted for an open society to remain open and to flourish. This prescription is particularly relevant to the United States at the present time, because the United States is facing a particularly unpleasant set of realities in the aftermath of the financial crisis. The country has been living beyond its means for the last quarter of a century and making ends meet by borrowing abroad. Now, the housing bubble has burst, consumers are overextended and need to rebuild their savings. The banking system has collapsed and needs to earn its way out of a hole. The Bush administration had deliberately misled the electorate when it invaded Iraq on false pretenses. The Obama administration can't be accused of deliberate deception. Nevertheless, it has accepted that the country is unwilling to face harsh realities and deployed the confidence multiplier. Unfortunately, the objective reality is unlikely to fulfill the hopes raised by the confidence multiplier. At the same time, the political opposition is not constrained by facts in attacking the president. In these circumstances, the requirement that the electorate should be more committed to the pursuit of truth will be difficult to meet. It provides a good agenda for my foundation, but the current state of democracy in America does not strengthen the case for open society as a superior form of social organization. I need to find a stronger argument. A better case can be found by reverting to the founding fathers, who formed their views long before the concept of open society was introduced. The founding fathers built their case on the value of individual freedom. The epistemological argument they employed was flawed. The Declaration of Independence states that we hold these truths to be self-evident, and there is nothing self-evident about them. But self-evident or not, the value of individual freedom is enduring, and having been exposed to totalitarian regimes, I'm passionately devoted to it, and I'm not alone. Reverting to the founding fathers has another great advantage. It allows a discussion of power relations. The Constitution protected against tyranny by a division of powers. The division of powers recognizes that there are competing interests and different interpretations of reality within society which need to be reconciled by a political process. The constitutional checks and balances preclude the formation of absolute power that could claim to be in possession of the ultimate truth. The Constitution establishes a mechanism where different branches of government interact and control each other. But that is not sufficient. Open society can prevail only when people can speak truth to power. It needs the rule of law that guarantees freedom of speech and press, freedom of association and assembly, and other rights and freedoms. They empower citizens to defend themselves against the absolute power of the state and to make use of the judicial branch for such defense. That's how the founding fathers created an open society. Let me spell out my conclusion more clearly. Open society is a desirable form of social organization, both as a means to an end and as an end in itself. It enables a society to understand the problems confronting it and to deal with them more successfully than other forms of social organizations, provided it gives precedence to the cognitive over the manipulative function, and the people are willing to confront harsh realities. In other words, the instrumental value of democracy is conditional on the qualities of the electorate. And the current performance of American democracy doesn't live up to its past achievements. We can't rely on the inherent superiority of the American model and need to prove ourselves anew. But quite apart from its instrumental value, open society also has an intrinsic value, namely the freedom of the individual, which applies whether open society flourishes or not. For instance, it applied to the Soviet Union. Of course, the freedom of the individual must be made compatible with the public interest and the freedom of other individuals. Moreover, the intrinsic value of individual freedom falls short of being self-evident. For instance, it's not generally recognized in China, where the interests of the collective take precedence over the interests of the individual. This was the clear message of the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games. It showed that by doing exactly what they are told and exactly at the right time, a large collection of individuals can produce a superb spectacle. With the changing power relations between the United States and China, the value of individual freedom is likely to assume increasing importance in the immediate future. And I will address that subject in my last lecture. Thank you.